We've all got something we wish we could change. Maybe it's the habits that keep pulling us backwards. Maybe it's the self-doubt that shows up every time we try to grow. Or maybe it's the gap between where we are and where we know we could be. But no matter what you're struggling with, this journey doesn't start with hacks or quick wins. It starts with one powerful truth. You have more control than you think. Before we dive in, pause for a second and check in with yourself. I've left a question in the comments that I'd love for you to reflect on. Your response might just be the first step towards something real. Now let's get clear. Fixing yourself isn't about perfection. It's not about becoming someone you're not. It's about closing the gap between who you are now and who you were meant to be. That takes progress. And progress always begins with one thing: awareness. Because the truth is, you can't fix what you won't face. You can't change what you won't admit. So take a look at your life, your habits, your mindset, your patterns. Where do you keep getting stuck? What do you keep avoiding? It might be uncomfortable, even painful, but this is the ground where growth begins. Self-awareness isn't weakness, it's power. The more clearly you see what's broken, the more precisely you can rebuild. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's the point. That's where everything begins.
Let me take you back to a story not often told. There was a young man, brilliant, full of potential, the kind people said was meant for more. But year after year, that same brilliance dimmed, not because life was cruel, but because he refused to take ownership. Every failure had a villain: the coach who didn't pick him, the system that didn't reward him, the friend who betrayed him. He could explain every shortcoming except the one that mattered: the choice he made to surrender his power to everything outside of himself. He lived stuck not because of his obstacles, but because of his excuses. That's where most people live, in the gray zone, the space between who they are and who they could be, not because they don't have talent, not because they lack opportunity, but because they refuse to claim full responsibility for their life. Let me make it plain. Life does not owe you clarity. Life owes you nothing. But the moment you decide to own everything, your flaws, your patterns, your past, your pain, that's the moment you become dangerous in the best way. Because now you've got leverage, not on others, on yourself. Radical ownership means no more blaming the job, the relationship, the trauma, the time you lost, or the time you think you don't have. It means standing in the ashes of your excuses and building something better with your bare hands. You don't need perfect conditions. You need conviction. You don't need more motivation. You need responsibility. When you say, "This is mine, my habits, my reactions, my progress, my future," that's not just maturity, that's power. It starts with how you wake up. Do you keep your word to yourself, or are you already negotiating with your weakness before your feet hit the floor? It continues in your choices: what you consume, what you prioritize, what you tolerate in yourself. Every time you make an excuse, you trade power for comfort. But every time you take responsibility, even for things that hurt you, carve the road back to strength. And let me tell you something. Pain endured without accountability is just suffering. But pain combined with ownership, that becomes fuel. People will still doubt you. Life will still swing. But when you take ownership, you stop flinching. You become steady, grounded, unstoppable, not because things get easier, but because you've chosen to stop giving away your authority. This is the turning point, the place where blame dies and freedom begins. Everybody wants the results. Everybody wants the transformation story, the before and after glow up, the applause at the end of the tunnel. But few want the silence. Few want the grind without glory. Few want discipline. And that's why so many stay stuck, hyped on vision, starved of commitment. They talk about change like it's magic. But change doesn't come with fireworks. It comes with routines, with repetition, with boring, lonely choices that no one claps for. Let me make this clear. Movement is not the same as progress. You can run in place for years and never move forward. You can be the busiest person in the room and still be the furthest from your purpose. Discipline is the difference. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right thing over and over, even when your motivation is gone, even when the room is quiet and no one's watching, especially then. Think about the fighter who trains in the dark, not for the crowd, but for the clarity. Think about the student who reads late into the night while others scroll. Think about the mother who wakes up early to build a better life for her children, not with loud declarations, but with quiet, consistent sacrifice. That's discipline. That's progress. It's not sexy. It doesn't trend, but it transforms. The truth is, hype fades. Excitement fizzles, but discipline sharpens. It teaches you to stop chasing the next thrill and start building a life that doesn't collapse when the mood shifts. It gives you muscle. It gives you control. And more than anything, it gives you evidence that you can trust yourself, that you can finish what you start, that you are not at the mercy of emotion but powered by principle. So while everyone else is still dreaming, you're moving quietly, relentlessly, one rep at a time, one hard choice at a time. You're not waiting for the right mood. You're building the right mindset, because progress doesn't come to the loudest, it comes to the most consistent. And when they finally see your results, they'll call it overnight success. Let them. You'll know the truth. You were just too disciplined to quit. So while everyone else is still dreaming, you're moving quietly, relentlessly, one rep at a time, one hard choice at a time. You're not waiting for the right mood. You're building the right mindset. Because progress doesn't come to the loudest, it comes to the most consistent. And when they finally see your results, they'll call it overnight success. Let them. You'll know the truth. You were just too disciplined to quit. And the truth is, most people fail not because they're incapable. They fail because they're unclear. They keep running on the same treadmill every year, breaking a sweat, but not breaking ground. It's not that they're lazy. It's not even that they lack motivation. The truth, they don't have a target. You can't build what you can't name. You can't hit what you haven't aimed for. People say things like, I just want to be better. Better how I want to be successful. What does that even mean? Is it financial freedom, inner peace, a business of your own, a healthy marriage without specificity? You're trapped in generality, and generality is the graveyard of execution. Let me tell you a story. There was a young boxer who had heart, had talent, but kept losing every match. Not because he lacked strength, not because he lacked skill, but because his punches were wild. He kept swinging, missing. His coach pulled him aside and said, "You've got everything it takes, but you're swinging at ghosts. Choose your spot, then strike with everything you've got." The next match, he went in focused, clear. He hit his target, and for the first time, he walked out of the ring with his hands in the air. That's how life works. You keep swinging at everything, you hit nothing. But when you define your target, when you say, this is my lane, this is my mission, this is what success looks like for me, you stop reacting and start attacking with intent. Here's the practical stop. Writing down vague goals, no more. Get fit. Say instead, train 3 days a week, 30 minutes of strength, 20 minutes of cardio, no more. Be productive. Say write 500 words a day. Clear 2 priorities before 11 a.m. Break your ambitions into micro actions. Things small enough to do even on your worst day, but powerful enough to build a new future if done daily. Why does this matter? Because the mind craves clarity. You give it fog, it gives you procrastination. You give it structure, it gives you momentum. One small win turns into two turn into a rhythm. And that rhythm, that's how you become someone different, not because you suddenly changed overnight, but because you kept your promise when no one was watching. And track it. Don't just try your best. Measure it. Put it on the wall, on your phone, in a journal. When you see those check marks stacking up, something inside you shifts. Your brain says, we're doing this. For real, this time. And that builds belief, the kind of belief that doesn't need applause, doesn't need a pat on the back. Just forward motion. Let's get even more real. Don't pick goals to impress strangers online. Pick goals that challenge the parts of you nobody sees. You don't need a six-pack to be disciplined. You don't need a perfect morning routine to earn your own respect. You just need one honest step toward what matters, taken over and over again. So if you've been drifting, this is your course correction. Set the target. Define the win. Break it down. Work it daily. And don't stop when it's hard. Stop when it's done. So now you've set the goal. You've mapped the climb. But here's what no one likes to talk about. The storm doesn't stop just because you've chosen a direction. In fact, sometimes the moment you declare your mission, life throws everything it has at you. And that's not punishment, it's preparation. Because purpose without pressure is just a wish. Pressure is what makes it real. Resilience is what makes it last. There's a moment in every journey right after the excitement fades, right before the results show up, when you're going to feel stuck, flat, empty. You'll wake up tired. You'll wonder if the work is even worth it. You'll feel like quitting would be easier. And in that moment, you've got a choice: break or bend, give up or grit up. Think about the strongest trees. You don't find them in gardens with perfect weather. You find them clinging to the side of cliffs, bracing themselves in storms. Their roots don't grow deep because the sun is always shining. Their roots grow deep because the wind keeps trying to tear them down. You want to fix your life? Then stop expecting smooth roads and stop letting failure write your story. Failing doesn't mean you're finished. It means you're still fighting. It means you found one way that didn't work. And now you're one step closer to what will. Ask anyone who's built something real, they'll tell you. It was never the applause that shaped them. It was the moments in the dark when no one believed, when nothing worked, when it hurt like hell, and they showed up anyway. And here's the truth: you will fall, you will mess up, you will make wrong turns. But every single time you get back up, you send a message to life itself. You can shake me, but you will not break me. That's resilience. Not being bulletproof, but being break resistant, flexible, unshakable. It's looking at a hard season and saying, I might bend, but I'm still standing. You're building something here. Not just habits, not just results, but a reputation with yourself, a trust in your own toughness. And when you've got that, when you've been through the fire and came out steel, there's nothing, absolutely nothing you can't walk through. So whatever setback you're staring at right now, whatever failure whispered, you're not enough, let's stand up anyway. Shake the dust off, tighten your grip, and tell the world I'm still here. Here's the truth. Nothing will change on the outside until everything changes on the inside. The battlefield isn't your circumstances, it's your thoughts. The enemy isn't failure, it's the belief that failure defines you. You don't lose when you fall. You lose when you decide you're not worthy of getting back up. Your mind will try to sabotage you. It'll whisper that you're not good enough, not smart enough, not ready. That's not true. That's programming. That's every voice that ever doubted you, every wound you never healed, every fear passed down to you from people who gave up too soon. But here's the power move: you can rewire it. Start speaking to yourself like someone you're responsible for building. Not fixing, building. You wouldn't tear down someone you love. So why do it to yourself? Your self-talk is either poison or power, and you get to choose which one you sip from every morning. Replace I can't with how can I. Replace what if I fail with, what if I rise. Speak life even when you're surrounded by silence, especially when you're surrounded by silence. That's how warriors are made, not when the crowd is cheering, but when it's just you, your grit, and your God-given will. Let me give it to you plainly. If you don't control your mind, someone else will. the algorithm, the fear, the past, the pressure, they'll all start dictating your direction. But if you train your thoughts like a muscle daily, relentlessly, you'll own the day before the day even begins. Here's how: feed your focus. First thing in the morning, before the world gets its hands on you, give your attention to something that builds you. Read one page, speak one affirmation, move your body for 10 minutes. Doesn't have to be fancy, it just has to be yours. Audit your environment. Motivation dies in toxic soil. If you're around people who speak doubt, limit dreams, or celebrate mediocrity, you don't need to cut them off, but you do need to mute their influence. Protect your mental real estate like your future depends on it, because it does. Visualize like a tactician. Don't just dream, see it. Feel it, act like it's already yours. Champions don't hope to win, they train like they've already tasted the victory. Anchor your why. When the pain shows up, and it will, you don't need a motivational poster. You need a reason, a name, a cause, a future you refuse to let die. That's the fire that gets you through hell without smoke on your clothes. Because here's the thing, motivation is like a match, bright, hot, but short-lived. Mindset is the furnace. It burns even when no one sees the flame. That's what separates the ones who start from the ones who finish. So sharpen your thoughts, toughen your inner dialogue. Think strong so you can live strong. You are not a prisoner of your thoughts, you are the architect. But you have to know that you can't win a war if your body's broken and your spirit's bankrupt. You can't pour vision into your goals if your own cup's bone is dry. This is the truth. Most people learn too late. Self-care isn't luxury, it's leverage. And in a world that celebrates burnout like it's a badge of honor, choosing to rest, to nourish, to recharge, that's not weakness. That's wisdom. You want to go far, then you better treat your energy like currency. Because you can hustle all day long, but if your body taps out, your dream dies with it. Don't let that happen on your watch. Start simple. You don't need spa days or retreats in the mountains. You need systems. You need rituals. You need boundaries. Sleep isn't negotiable. Real meals aren't optional. Silence isn't a waste of time. It's where your best ideas are born. Set a rhythm. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes early just to sit with your thoughts. Maybe it's putting your phone away during dinner and actually tasting the life you're building. Maybe it's journaling one page a night just to empty out the noise before it becomes stress. Whatever it looks like, carve out time where the world doesn't get a say. Let me give you something practical. Say you've got dreams pulling you in every direction: school, business, relationships, self-growth. It's tempting to sacrifice your health on the altar of ambition. But that's how you end up burnt out and bitter. Instead, protect your non-negotiables. That could be 20 minutes of walking, stretching, or even dancing in your living room, whatever gets your blood moving. That could be a meal prepping your next 3 lunches so you don't default to junk. That could be simply saying no to that extra obligation that drains your soul. Think of it like this: every high-performance engine needs pit stops. Even race cars take breaks to refuel, retire, recalibrate. You're no different. You're not fragile because you need rest. You're focused because you honor your limits. That's power. That's control. And let's talk about emotional hygiene. Bottling everything up and calling it strength, that's a lie. If something's weighing you down, write it, say it, pray for it, breathe through it. Talk to someone you trust. Even lions roar when they're wounded. Let yourself be real, because unspoken pain has a way of becoming silent sabotage. So here's your takeaway: care for yourself like you're someone you're trying to keep alive, because you are. This isn't about perfection. It's about preservation. It's about creating a life that doesn't just look good, but feels sustainable. Let me talk to the part of you that's tired, the part that's been doing the work but feels like nothing's changing. You've been showing up, pouring out, pushing through, and still the mirror doesn't reflect the fire you feel inside. Let me remind you of something powerful. Just because the seed hasn't broken the soil yet doesn't mean it isn't growing. Progress isn't loud. It doesn't come with fanfare. It doesn't throw you a party. Most days, progress is quiet. It's you choosing not to quit, when quitting would be easier. It's wiping your own tears, standing in front of the storm and whispering, "Not today. I still believe in who I'm becoming." See, no one claps for the person who gets up after a silent breakdown. No one applauds the moment you say no to what once owned you. But those are the real victories. That's the holy ground. That's what makes champions. Not headlines, not hashtags. The real transformation happens in the dark. You're not weak for feeling weary. You're not broken because you had a setback. You're human. You're growing. Growth is messy. It hurts. It requires becoming someone new while still wrestling with the old version of you. That takes heart. That takes courage. Most will never understand. But hear me, every choice you make in the silence matters. When you choose to go again, even when it's thankless, when you keep your promise to yourself, even when nobody's watching, that's where the fire is built. That's where you become untouchable. Not because you're perfect, but because you refuse to stay down. So don't beat yourself up for not being there yet. There is an illusion. What's real is here, this moment, this breath, this decision, and every single one matters. You want practical. Here it is. Create a list of 5 small promises to yourself each morning, just 5. Keep them. No excuses. Do it again tomorrow. Over time, you'll realize it was never about motivation. It was about integrity. The trust you build with yourself when no one else can see the fight. This journey isn't about proving anything to the world. It's about reclaiming the parts of yourself you forgot were powerful. So don't stop climbing. Don't stop trying. You're not behind. You're just being shaped. And every masterpiece is messy before it's magnificent. The journey to becoming your best self isn't paved with applause or lined with flashing lights. It's rough, it's quiet, and most of the time, it's lonely. But let me tell you something, lonely doesn't mean lost. It means you're working. It means you're evolving. It means you're in the place where real transformation happens, where no one's watching and no one's clapping, but you keep going anyway. That's where character is built. That's where the old version of you dies, and the real one is born. The process of fixing yourself is not about becoming perfect. That's a lie. The world tells you to keep you paralyzed. You don't need perfection. You need progress. You don't need a round of applause. You need resilience. Every time you choose to keep moving forward when it's easier to fall back, that's power. Every time you get up one more time then life knocks you down, that's growth. And when you look around and see no one cheering for you, you clap for yourself. Because greatness isn't found in the noise. It's carved out in the silence. There will be days you want to quit. Moments when your doubts get loud and your motivation runs dry. But you hold the line. You hold the line when it's boring. You hold the line when it's heavy. You hold the line when it feels like nothing's changing, because that's what it takes to change. Discipline is not glamorous. Progress is not always loud. But if you stay consistent, if you keep showing up, you will become the proof that reinvention is possible. You will become the evidence that a broken beginning doesn't define a final chapter. Don't wait for the world to crown you. Crown yourself. Don't wait for the fear to leave. Walk forward with it. Don't wait until you feel ready. No one ever does. You move now. You speak now. You build now. You take the pain you've lived through and you use it like firewood. Let it burn in your belly. Let it fuel your focus. Let it light the path that leads to the strongest version of you. You don't need to change everything in one day. You just need to decide that you're not going to sit still in the same place anymore. That today, this day marks the moment you stop negotiating with weakness. No more excuses. No more delaying your destiny. From this moment forward, you walk like the version of yourself you've always known is buried deep beneath the doubt. You don't owe the world perfection, but you do owe yourself truth. You owe yourself courage. You owe yourself effort even when it hurts. And when you fall again, you don't see it as failure, you see it as feedback. You rise, and you rise stronger. Because every scar on your spirit is not a sign of shame, it's proof that you survived what tried to break you. So take everything you've learned, everything you've felt, everything you've endured, and let it make you. You are not the product of your pain. You are the architect of your comeback. You are the result of your refusal to quit. And if no one told you today, let me be the one. You are worth the work. You are worth the process. You are worth the victory that's waiting on the other side of this storm. Keep showing up, keep building, keep becoming. The best version of you isn't at the finish line. It's rising inside of you right now, brick by brick, choice by choice, battle by battle. Let's go. Finish strong. You're not just fixing yourself, you're becoming unstoppable. To every soul still standing here, still reading, still holding on, thank you. Thank you for showing up today for yourself. Thank you for choosing growth when it would have been easier to settle. Thank you for not giving up, even when you had every excuse to. The fact that you're still on this journey tells me you've got fire in your bones, purpose in your steps, and something inside of you that the world hasn't even seen the best of. My wish for you is this, that you never forget who you're becoming, that in the days when your strength feels small and your progress feels invisible, you remember you are never wasting effort. Every act of discipline is building something. Every moment of honesty, every second of showing up when it's hard, every inch you crawl forward when the rest of the world lies still, that's legacy. That's the foundation. That's power. I wish you the kind of peace that doesn't depend on circumstance. The kind of clarity that makes your next step obvious even when the whole road feels dark. I wish you the resilience to keep fighting for the version of yourself that only you can see. And I pray that when the world tries to define you by your past, you have the audacity to build your future anyway. You're not here by accident. You're here because something in you refuses to let your story end like this. So go boldly. Go with conviction. Go knowing you've got a voice. The world needs to hear a strength it hasn't witnessed and a purpose that will not be silenced. And when you rise and you will reach back, pull somebody else up. Because real greatness isn't just about what you build for yourself. It's about what you make possible for someone else. With fire, with faith, with fierce belief, I thank you and I believe in you. Now go become undeniable